there's still this shift from manual or semi-manual processes to automation. And it's clear that, a lot of the experts that were speaking and the panelists were favoring automation, but that hasn't really made its way through kind of all parts of the industry yet. And I don't know if that's, resistance from the firms to bring on such products, if it's, the lack of resources. But that was one point that the panelists brought up quite frequently is, compliance really needs to have the resources to do its job well. And we know for a fact that in the marketplace, a lot of firms go pretty cheap when it comes to compliance. Often it's a secondary duty given to somebody else at the firm, not their primary duty. Oftentimes there's no budget for compliance. And if there is a budget, it doesn't reflect the importance that compliance has in the business. So, the experts were making it very clear that firms really should be allocating the resources necessary. And for smaller firms that don't have people and can't afford to just, continue to hire employees, I think that that's where automation can really be a game changer. So, that's just a theme that we keep hearing over and over again. And it's out there in the market and people are talking about it, but we're still seeing some slow adoption by RIAs. And I think it's because, the people who are primarily in charge of compliance, it's often not their primary job. In fact, I was talking with a gentleman before the session today who's with, small to middle-sized advisor based in New York City. And he's the CCO, but he's not really a CCO by training. He kind of was brought in to do investor relations. Somebody needed to do the compliance program, and it's been put on him. But one of the, he made the point that even having been a relatively new CCO, that it takes a lot of his time and it takes a lot of his effort. And that's something that I think when people are in that position, they get it. But until they've kind of been on that side of the business, they don't appreciate it as much. He also made an interesting point that it being on both the business side and the compliance side has given him an appreciation of, one, how can compliance be done in a way that supports business and growth? But then two, how should the business operate in a way that, supports compliance? And I think at the end of the day, while compliance is never a driver of growth, it's a protector of growth. So, growing your firm and, increasing revenues and all of that is great. But if you do it in a way that opens you up to legal or regulatory risk, then, you may spend all that time and effort building something that you then lose later on. So I thought that was an important point.